Village, written by Adolpho, Phillips. Exterior, Whispering Oaks apartment complex, day. Dre, 11, walks slowly through the apartment complex. You can only see him from behind. Kids are laughing. Some ladies stop talking, fold their arms, and shake their heads disappointingly. Dre is 4'0" with oversized clothes and clean white shoes. He gets to the stairs leading up to his building. Melvin, 35, his neighbor, on his concrete throne, is dressed nicely, smoking a cigarette with a can of beer sitting next to him. He surveys his kingdom. He looks at Dre and his expression doesn't change.
Next time, bob and weave, or run and hide? Watch my drink.
He walks past the man, reaches in his sock, and pulls out his key. You can see a small trickle of blood on his arm. He takes his time getting up to the 3rd floor. Interior, Tasha and Dre's apartment, day. He listens at the door for a moment, slips the key in and quietly opens the door. His sneakers are as quiet as socks. He tries to tip by his mother, Tasha, 28, sleeping on the couch with the fan blowing on high. He almost makes it to the hallway. Tasha is very pretty, dark-skinned and athletically built. Her nails are freshly done, and makeup is intact, although she's resting. Her hair is in curlers, and she's in her night clothes at 6 p.m.
Stop.
He stops in his tracks.
You've been playing in your school clothes again?
No, ma'am.
What'd I tell you about creeping?
Dre mumbles 3 words in a low voice.
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
She puts one foot on the floor and turns the fan down 1 notch.
It's for creeps?
And talking to your mother with your back to her?
He turns around and walks slowly to the back of the couch and faces her back.
Front and center, young man.
He slowly comes around and stands in front of her. His shirt is ripped, his eye is puffy and closing, his lip is busted, and he has whelps on his arms. Tasha's calm demeanor changes in an instant.
What?
She hops up from her reclined position, puts on her house robe and slippers, grabs Dre by the arm, and darts out of the door. Dre pleads with her down the stairs.
Mama, can we just go back in the house?
Boy, you'll never survive living around black folks if you don't let 'em know what you about.
But Mama...
I don't want to hear nothing else.
They exit the building past Melvin sitting on the stoop. Exterior, Whispering Oaks apartment complex, day.
Hey, sweet tea. You fixin' to put the hammer down?
She doesn't say anything as she drags Dre along at a swift pace. Dre looks back at the man who just shakes his head like he feels for him. They walk past the ladies, past some girls playing double dutch, and past a little boy on a big wheel. All of them stop what they're doing and shake their heads pitifully at Dre.
Mama, I don't see why we got to...
You can't see nothing out of the one eye you still got open.
They head directly to the swings, where the children of the complex congregate in between nuisances. Insert: portraits of several children in succession with various emotions.
Most of the families in Whispering Oaks were made up of single mothers, and if there was a father in the house, with a job, it seemed miraculous. The government-subsidized apartments were decent-sized, and it didn't feel or look like the ghetto. However, 8 out of 10 kids living there were latchkey, and there was always somebody saying.
Insert: little girl, 8, sassily with her hands on her hips.
Ooh, you gon' get it when your mama get home.
Tasha had migrated to this suburban community from the city when she and Dre's father were calling it quits. Well, she was calling it quits. Her best friend Lisa had left the city 6 months prior, and she told Tasha that there were jobs in affordable apartments. Tasha wanted her son to know his father, but he was always into some down and dirty stuff.
Exterior, city block, night, flashback. Man in handcuffs being guided away. Tasha stands in the background.
And when he went away on vacation for 6 months, and she had no way to pay the rent, she had to do something. When she visited Lisa for the first time, she couldn't believe how much grass there was.
Exterior, Whispering Oaks apartment complex, day, flashback. Tasha and Lisa stand on a lawn. Tasha bends down to rub the grass.
The frivolous thought that her son could run, and run without getting hurt when he falls, was one of the things that helped her make the decision to leave the city life behind.
Exterior, Whispering Oaks apartment complex, day, present day. Tasha and Dre bound down the sidewalk, nearing a group of boys.
The nerve of one of these suburban delinquents putting their hands on my child.
I should have just played football with the crew today.
Dre walks with his head down, making sure he keeps up with his short but swift mother. As the mother and son move toward the middle of the complex, they approach Tissy, 11, a pretty, light-skinned girl with a long ponytail that reaches halfway to her back.
Hi, Miss Booker.
Hi, Tissy.
Exterior, Whispering Oaks in front of Tissy's first-floor balconied apartment, day. Portrait of Tissy acting sweet. Interior, Tissy's apartment, day. We see Tissy's friends moving freely about the apartment, going in and out of the refrigerator, eating snacks, sandwiches, drinking Kool-Aid.
Tissy's father was black, and her mother was white. They weren't married, but unlike the majority in Whispering Oaks, they were together, and their 3 kids had a mother and a father in the house. Another big deal was they both had jobs. This placed Tissy back in the majority because her little sister, and her twin brother were also latchkey kids. Many of the neighborhood kids would hang out at their house because they always had a refrigerator full of food and plenty of Kool-Aid. Tissy's mother was a short, red-headed lady with a protruding forehead. She was very attractive and had a calm demeanor. She had often come home and found kids in the house, going through the fridge, and would politely tell them to get what they want and find a place to play outside. Tissy would time all of the visits so that everyone was out by the time her father made it home. Her father was a big, burly fellow with a bushy mustache and a curly afro. Dre used to think that if her father had a mohawk, he would look just like Mr. T. Most of the kids were afraid of Tissy's father because they thought that he was crazy. He had an unusually high voice for his size and would just grunt if kids tried to greet him. Maybe he knew they were eating up all his lunch meat. Tissy was more like her father.
Tissy snatches cookie from one of the kids as they leave. Exterior, Whispering Oaks apartment complex, day. Dre puts his head down. They pass Tissy. Dre slightly looks back as they pass. Tissy sticks her tongue out at him. He pretends not to see her. They approach the swing set. Several girls notice Tasha coming, hurry to their feet, and walk away.
Do y'all mamas know y'all out here up under these nappy-headed boys?
They keep walking.
Y'all better carry yo' fast tails on.
Tasha maneuvers to the middle of the 7 or 8 young men hanging at the swings.
Which one of y'all put your grimy hands on my boy?
It's absolutely silent. The remaining crowd tries not to make eye contact with her. Most of the boys are older than Dre. One boy, 14, tries to give Dre some dap, and his hand is smacked away by Tasha.
Uh-huh. Which one is it, Dre? Speak up, boy.
Keith, 15, sits on the swing furthest from Dre and his mom. He's dressed nicely with a cool demeanor.
Ain't nobody here touched Dre, Miss Booker.
Tasha moves in a huff toward him. The other boys are relieved. She's focused her attention on him.
Ain't nobody touched Dre? So he beaten on himself.
No, I didn't say that. Obviously, he's encountered an assault of some sort.
Oh, you got the police terminology down pack. You getting ready for court? What are you saying?
Tasha moves into Keith's personal space, and he looks less confident than he did a few moments prior. He stands up off the swing, slowly, as not to provoke her.
Miss Booker, I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm just saying that Dre is our little buddy, and we wouldn't do him no harm.
That's why he's had a busted lip, a knot on his head, and an ice ball hit him in his ear, hanging round y'all.
That stuff was all unintentional mishaps. But whoever did this was deliberate.
Some of the other boys snicker.
What y'all laughing at? I don't see a damn thing funny.
One of the other boys feels his courage and begins to rise. He starts swinging on the swing.
Won't you make like a perm and relax?
The rest of his buddies collectively brace themselves as if they had said it. Tasha looks down at her belt rope, ties it tighter, slowly, and slides her feet deeper into her plush slippers. The smart-mouthed boy looks around at his friends and grins. They grin back nervously.
And while you're at it, why don't you take them curlers out, yo?
He begins, but is interrupted by Tasha, pushing him off the swing to his back. He yelps.
What's wrong with you, lady?
Tasha stands over him, wailing on him, smacking every place he leaves uncovered.
I'll tell you what's wrong with me. Your hard head is hurting my soft hands, and I'm going to have to get my nails redone because you want to be a fledgling Eddie Murphy when you should be a mime.
She continues until she's satisfied and gathers herself.
What's your problem, lady?
He dusts himself off.
Why y'all just stand there?
Tasha looks at each one of the boys and back at Dre.
I guess we done here.
Dre follows his mom back up the hill as she walks slower. They pass Tissy, who's still on the same spot on the hill. Her arms remain folded as she and Dre make eye contact. This time, he doesn't look away, and she doesn't show any emotion. They make it back to their apartment. Interior, Tasha and Dre's apartment, day.
Come on, Dre. Get out them tattered clothes and clean yourself up.
She goes to the refrigerator and makes him an ice pack for his eye. Dre comes out a few minutes later in a clean t-shirt and shorts. Tasha is standing near the patio door looking out the window of the balcony.
Mom, I'm sorry.
She looks at him, but doesn't say a word. Dre looks down at the floor. He places the ice pack on his eye and pulls it away for the cold.
It was Tissy, wasn't it?
Dre walks up beside his mother, eyebrows raised.
You knew?
I hoped it wasn't one of those boys that scratched you all up, but by that shiner, I wasn't sure. What'd you do to her?
Nothing. I gave her a cassette that I bought with my allowance.
So she whooped your tail because you gave her a tape?
Uh-huh. She said thank you.
Tasha turns and folds her arms, cocks her head, and twists her mouth.
I tried to kiss her, but I might have accidentally touched her behind.
She gives him a shocked look, then returns her gaze to the window.
Well, I guess you got what you asked for. What was the tape?
If It Isn't Love by New Edition. Why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside.
Tasha can't help but laugh.
I bet it does. Now go in there and get ready.
Get ready? I thought we were good. You were just laughing.
We are good, but I can't let you think it's okay for you to be going around grabbing girls. I'm raising no little rapists.
But Mama, look at me. Don't you think I've suffered enough? How about 2 weeks punishment?
Good idea. That too. But you getting a whooping. Down to your drawers. I'll be in a minute.
Dre sulks to his bedroom. He strips down to his t-shirt and tidy whities and sits on the bed, waiting. He watches the doorknob intently. Lights dim as he sees the doorknob turn. Scenes, stills flash in and out with Dre in different positions as Tasha whips. Tasha breaks up her syllables with whips. Dre shrieks.
Now, the next time you feel like touching someone without permission, remember how you feel at this moment. Don't let me hear you been out there using your hands. Move your hands.
Mama, you're killing me!
You gon' learn today. No means no. Uh-huh.
Mama!
Whack, 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 goes the sound of the belt. The end.